Hey there, friends. I'm Michelle, and this is Billy.
Hi.
And welcome back to Second Star on the Left, where we'll share board game reviews, ramblings, and a few wrong turns along the scenic route. I am a plant killer. I have a talent that allows me to kill any plant. Air ferns? Sure. Succulents? Dead. Do you think it might be possible to kill fake plants? Maybe the robots can help me. Today I want to talk about Botanik and my dog.
Stop burping.
Botanik is a tile drafting, tile placement, pattern building, two-player only strategy game that was designed by Frank Creton, Gregoire Largy, and Sebastian Pochon, with art by Franck Dion and published by Space Cowboys. We were late to the game with Jaipur. Everyone told us that we should play it. It's one of the best two-player games, but there was always something shinier or newer that we wanted to pick up, and so it was always kind of a second choice when we were shopping. We did finally get it, and we played it, and obviously we loved it. It's a great little two-player game. Knowing what a tight two-player game that was, my interest was immediately piqued when we heard about Botanik and that it was published by Space Cowboys, the same publisher that gave us Jaipur. I think I saw it on Instagram or somewhere and I impulse bought it. I know, I'm working on the impulse buys, but I regret nothing about this purchase. If you followed me on social media, and please do, you already know of my undying love for Botanik. I have made it my mission to make sure that everyone has heard of Botanik and what they're missing out on by not playing it. What is this game and why should you try it? Let's start with a little flavor text. In the hushed intimacy of her laboratory, the eminent researcher Beatrix Berry has just discovered a technology allowing to mechanically generate all kinds of edibles. Subtropical plants, stellar potatoes, Orion mandarins. This new technology opens a way to save the people of Forums, prisoners of a world made of rust and toxic vapors. It's in the urgency of a threatened world that the scientist puts two of her best teams in charge of developing her plan. That can seem quite demanding at times. Each team is engrossed in its mission, and Beatrix's laboratory becomes the battlefield of fierce competition to produce the best performing machine. You are promoted to head one of these two teams and must prove yourself worthy of the head researcher's trust. Rise up to the challenge. Okay, the world is falling apart and we need plants and food. Got it. Setup takes about 2 minutes. You just place the registry in the middle of the table, give each player a source tile, set all the remaining tiles next to the board. It says in 2+ piles, but we usually do 3. Do whatever works for you, or take them right out of the box. It would work just as well. Place 5 tiles in the center row of the registry and assign the first player the mecha pawn. That's it, you're set up. The rules are simple as well. If you have the mecha pawn, the first player token, you take 3 tiles from the stacks and put them out in the drafting pool. You get to draft first, choosing whichever tile you want and placing it on the registry following 2 easy rules. You can either place it in the middle row with no restrictions, or place it on your side as long as you match either shape or color. Simple, yes? In order to get a piece into the machine that you're creating, it actually takes 2 turns. You're going to have to draft a tile, put it onto the registry, and then release that tile from the registry into your machine. There are 5 colors like suits in this game, and each color has 7 different types of tiles. There's shaped pipe pieces, vegetables, plants, and mechabotanists. The first few times we played, we didn't notice the difference between the vegetables and the plants. We counted them as the same. Oops, they are a little similar, and we didn't take time to clarify that. So watch out for that when you start playing. There are definitely different shapes. Let's talk about how a piece gets released from the registry. If a piece is placed in the middle, either by you or your opponent, that breaks the rules for placement for a tile on your side, then that piece is released. For example, If you matched a red piece to a red piece for placement and you want to release it, on a following move you could place a blue piece in the middle. And as long as it no longer matches the color or shape, voila, your piece is freed. But watch out. This also means that you could have freed a piece for your opponent to use in their machine. If the other player also had a red piece on their side and you put a blue piece in the center row, then you would release a piece for them as well. There is a big if there. That's because there are two placement rules, shape and color. So if you can manage to draft the perfect tile, you can release a tile from your side, but not from your opponent's. Or, and sometimes better yet, there are times when you want to release a tile on their side that will throw off all their plans. How do you build your machine? At startup, you were given a source tile. And in order for pieces to score, ultimately at the end of the game, they must all connect back to that source tile. All tiles lead back to the source or they don't score at all. So from your source tile, you're going to place tiles orthogonally as they are released from the registry. You don't have to connect all the pipes on the tiles to place the tile. Think you can get there in a later turn? Want to push your luck and see if you can connect all those pipes for a higher score? Go ahead. But just remember, anything that's not connected doesn't score. The only other rule for connecting the pipes on your machine is that it can never be completely closed. There always has to be an open end to build on. The mecha botanists act as a kind of wild card. When placed on your side, they follow the exact same placement rules as any other tile. So you either have to match them to a mecha botanist in the center or to the same color to place them on your side. But when they're released, they don't go into your machine. Instead, they can be swapped out for any tile along the center row. This is the only way that you can get a tile from the center row into your machine. When used well, these are very powerful tiles and you can combo them to get 2 or 3 tiles released during your turn. How do you win? There's only 2 ways to score points in Botanik, and both of those come from building out your machine. The first way is that you score 1 point for every group of 3 tiles or more of the same color in your machine that are connected directly. The second is that you score 1 point for every flower on a piece connected to at least 1 tile of the same color. So if your flowers are just hanging out there on the end, not connected or connected to another color, they're pretty, but they won't score you any points. And that's it. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that I highly recommend this, but is it a game for you? Well, it's only a 2-player game. So if that's not a player count that you get a chance to bring to the table, it might not be a good fit for you. There can be a bit of take that to this game, both in the drafting and in the tile placement. We love that in a game. It can be played without, but I think it might lose some of the spark and some of the strategy and just be a solitaire tile laying game. It takes about 20 minutes to play, and that makes it a great filler game or small game. It is a lighter game, but the more you play, the more you will see the strategy in your choices. The components and the artwork are intriguing and engaging, although I'm not a great big fan of the cover. What is that about? But look at this first player token. The insert means that setup and takedown are really quick. It's easy to bring to the table, and that means it's good for those nights when you just want something simple. This edition includes this coin for some reason. Maybe it's for flipping to determine the first player, or maybe it's spoils of war. It's priced very well and it won't break the bank. It will definitely be a travel game for us, as it's a nice small box the exact same size as Jaipur. That's it for Botanik, and I hope I've convinced some people to give it a try. If you do, let me know in the comments what you think of it. We've played this a lot over the last few months. It's definitely going to stay in the collection. In fact, when we did the rankings on Pub Meeple recently, it landed in our top 10. Thanks for watching. If you like this video or just want to keep watching until we get one right, please like, subscribe, and share. As always, open minds, open tables, and play your shelves. This just says read text, scroll, find music. I'm listening to Billy paint miniatures off screen, so if you hear any rattling, that's what that is. You can't see because my glasses suck. I think that says video. Yeah. It's gonna be a really short video.